If you thought the Nikon Z7 III would just be a quiet little refresh to an already great camera, think again. What started off as a typical upgrade has turned into one of the most talked about, and let's be honest, most confusing, pre-release sagas in Nikon's recent history, sensor debates, wild spec leaks, pricing drama, and even accusations of fake news. It's all happening. So, what exactly is going on with the Nikon Z7 III, and will it be the breakthrough we're hoping for or a missed opportunity? Let's unpack this chaotic camera story. At the center of the Nikon Z7 III mystery is the sensor, the heart of any camera, and arguably the most important piece. For context, the Z7 that had a Sony-made 45-7MP full-frame sensor that delivered outstanding detail and color, so naturally, everyone assumed the Z7 III would get a resolution bump, something like Sony's 6.1MP sensor used in the Alpha 7 RV. But plot twist, rumors suggest Nikon might go with a 6.7MP sensor made by Tower Semiconductor, also known as Tower Jaws. Now, that's huge. Nikon has worked with Tower before on its APS-C bodies like the Z50. But putting a Tower sensor in a full-frame flagship, that's not just a technical shift. It's a bold, philosophical move. It can help Nikon stand out in a Sony and Canon-dominated world, but it also brings risks like color science differences, potential dynamic range compromises, and questions about long-term reliability. Plus, Nikon doesn't manufacture its own sensors, which means extra layers of coordination. It's kind of like switching chefs in a famous restaurant. The dish might look the same, but will it taste the same? And just when you thought the sensor drama was enough, here come the video specs. Some sources claim the Z7 III might support 8K at 30 FPS and internal ProRes RAW recording. That's not just a step up, that's a full leap into hybrid territory, something Nikon Z7 line was never really known for. Now, YES, a 6.7MP sensor could theoretically support 8K, but practically, that's a whole different story. You'd need crazy fast processors, smart heat dissipation, maybe even active cooling, which Nikon hasn't typically done in this range. It's possible that Nikon will play it smart, maybe offer oversampled 6K for better thermal management, like they did with the Z8, but some believe these video specs are overblown, either pulled from other camera rumors or just straight-up guesswork. Now let's talk money, because, of course, that's where things get spicy. The Z7 launched at $2,999, but word on the street is the Z7 III might come in around $3,499. And here's the problem, that's dangerously close to the Z8, Nikon's more powerful stacked sensor beast that also delivers pro-level video. So Nikon has to walk a very thin line. The Z7 III needs to scream "I'm for photographers," focusing on resolution, color, and stills performance, without stepping on the Z8's toes. Otherwise, why wouldn't someone just spend a little more for the more capable hybrid? Meanwhile, Canon and Sony aren't sitting idle. Canon's more focused on speed than resolution right now, meaning Nikon could dominate the ultra-high-res space if the Z7 III delivers. Sony's Alpha 7 RV is still the king in this arena, with not just resolution, but insane eye-powered autofocus, smooth video, and excellent usability. Nikon's rumored 493-point phase detection AF system with improved subject tracking sounds promising. But Nikon users have been burned before. The Z6 and Z7 series also hyped up AF, only to fall short of Sony's real-time magic. So this time, the results need to show, not just sell, design-wise. Don't expect a revolution, but we may see some helpful upgrades. Think, the same magnesium alloy body, but with a new brighter EVF, likely 5.76 dots like the Z8, a 4-axis tilting touchscreen, and maybe a deeper grip with better button layout. Little changes that improve the feel. Battery life is expected to get a small bump, about 680 shots per charge, up from the Z7 II, and image stabilization could jump from 5 stops to 6.5, which helps when hand-holding those massive high-res shots. Still, that's shy of the 8-stop monsters we're seeing from Canon. So here we are, stuck in a cloud of leaks, debates, and unconfirmed specs. Nikon hasn't said much officially, and that's part of the problem. The Z7E's identity feels caught between two worlds, a stills-focused beast for purists, or a hybrid trying to impress everyone. If Nikon nails this, delivering a camera that's bold, sharp, and unashamedly for photographers, the Z7 III could carve out a very special place in the market. But if they hedge their bets too much, or simply deliver minor upgrades wrapped in hype, the price tag will be hard to swallow, especially with the Z8 standing right next to it. Nikon needs to take control of the narrative, fast. Photographers are watching, creators are waiting, and the competition isn't slowing down. What do you think? Will the Z7 III be a masterpiece or a marketing mess? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more deep dives into upcoming gear, and check out our videos on the Z8 versus R5 and Sony's 2025 roadmap linked right here on the end screen. Thanks for watching.